This game of chess got really out of hand really quickly. So my opponent castled queenside. It looks like the safest place for the king to go. In hindsight, though, I think just castling kingside is best. It leaves him with less holes in his position. I still would go knight g5 here, though, attack the pawn, and he really can't defend that. But I think the castling kingside is best. But he went queenside. And this brings up an interesting topic, a very important concept, actually. It doesn't matter what your opponent's rating is. Just play the board. If you see like you have a good move that threatens something that's really hard to defend, it doesn't matter what his rating is. If he can't defend it, he can't defend it, right? So in this position, I played knight g5. The point is I'm threatening this fork of the two rooks and the pawn. So what's most important? He doesn't want to lose the exchange, so he defends that, and I steal a pawn here. Now I just back out, and the computer didn't like that, but I just wanted to back out, not get my knight trapped, and steal a pawn. So mission accomplished there. My opponent plays for the center. I have a trade, and I fight for the center with d4. Computer says that's an accuracy, but if you know me, I don't count inaccuracies. I don't think they matter unless you're playing Magnus Carlsen or a top 5 GM. So really, who cares if it's an inaccuracy? So if you're evaluating your games, don't feel bad if you have an inaccuracy. It's not losing you any chess games. Okay, so we have d4 here. That's a mistake. I play knight e5. Now my knight's coming in here, attacking the rook and attacking this undefended knight. So the point is he can't just move his rook out of the way because I'll just simply take the knight for free. So it forces him to take the knight. And that's good for me because when I take back, I attack this knight. And when he moves out of the way, I'm completely winning in this position. Now, why am I completely winning in this position? Okay, well, first, let's look at the possible tactics in the position, right? The forcing moves. We always have to calculate that. So what do you notice? What's the undefended pieces in the position? Now, I know some of you are probably going to say the rook. Yes, technically it's undefended, but it's in the corner. It's not really in play. It has nothing to do with the game right now. And there's no way I can realistically get to it. But the queen, most of you said that because I can hear you. So yes, the queen is undefended. So how do we take advantage of that? A lot of times we can use a boomerang tactic. So knight e4 would work because when the queen takes my queen, I just simply come back with the knight, right? I don't take with the rook and lose my knight. I take with the knight, so I stole another pawn. That would be a fine move, and you would have a good position from there, but we can do much better. So when you see a good move, look for a better one. So before taking, I actually looked if I had something better. So like an in-between move. So when I do play knight takes e4, it's even stronger. And that's what I played here. I played pawn e6. The point is if he comes back with his rook to e7 or d8, I would just kick his queen out to either this square or this square. Either way, whichever square he goes to, I take this pawn and attack the queen. So I take the pawn with tempo. I'm completely winning here. I'm up 2 pawns. I have a tempo on the black pieces. This pawn's rushing down the board. It's really hard to stop. If the queen, I don't know really, let's say the queen comes here. We actually have a checkmate coming up in 2. It's really hard to defend. He actually has to sack the exchange here just to survive the game. So for that reason, my opponent played the best move, which is rook d6, which is what I was expecting. But after rook d6, I hit him with the stunning knight takes e4. Now, knight takes e4 is completely different in this position because now when the queen takes, I don't take the queen. I take the rook first because it's with check. So now I have the rook, which wasn't here before. The rook was here. I bounced it off this square to this square. So I took a rook with check. And now what happens when the king comes up here? I throw in another check. The king comes to b6, let's say. Now I finally take the queen. And when he takes the knight, I just take a pawn for good measure. And we'd have a position that looks like this, completely winning. Now, my opponent's high rated. I don't think he just missed this completely. I think he didn't like that position and thought maybe he just has a fighting chance to play something riskier. And so he just took the pawn here and allowed me to take his queen. That's my theory, at least. So I took his queen. And here he has to take this knight with the rook. Still not great. Still absolutely losing. But he took with the pawn. And I'm sure you can see right now that this is immediate checkmate. Anyway, big takeaway from this game is, regardless of your opponent's rating, always play the board. Sometimes the most basic attacks, if they're hard to defend, they still work regardless how high the opponent's rating is. And always study your tactics. If you get your opponent into an undefendable position and you're good in tactics, doesn't matter how high rated they are, they will crumble. Now get it out there and go play some chess.